tuned in to the one and only show, bringing you entertainment stories shaken, stirred with a little sass and a twist of lime. It's Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva, y'all. Don't miss it.
What up, peeps? We're back. It is that time of the month where we come to you with all the entertainment haps of the last few weeks. There's been a lot going on. I mean, there's so many topics to cover. Man, it's gonna be a packed hour. But it's okay. That's what we're here to do, to entertain. Welcome to another edition of Northwest Nightcap. I'm K-Cee Deeva, and we do this every first Thursday of the month. So mark your calendar if you don't have it marked already. Go ahead and take a minute and mark it down. Hit me up on IG or follow me on IG, K-Cee Deeva, and K-Cee Deeva spelled just like it is on the screen. Twitter, at K-Cee Deeva Shows, and on Facebook, K-Cee Deeva or Northwest Nightcap with K-Cee Deeva Show.
Hey.
All right, let's do some quick introductions here and dive on in to my lower right, your left if you're watching, the beautiful Miss Princess Robin. Hello, Princess.
Hello there, Deeva.
Wait, I need to get some fans here. Okay, next time I'm gonna have a little tune for you or something. I love the wave. All right, and sitting directly across from her, her hubby, the extinguished. Wait, hold on. I gotta pause for a minute. Hold on. I got some breaking news here. All right, so let me do this introduction over. In addition to Princess Robin's extinguished hubby, musical director of the legendary group Confunction, this is the two-time Grammy-nominated producer.
Two-time.
First and only Mackenzie Award Hall of Famer 2019.
Hey.
The winner of the 2022 Still Creating Decade Tribute Award, Mr. K-Cee Clayton.
So we don't.
Yes, thank you, neighbor. Cheers.
All right, so we're gonna go like that now. Okay.
See, I do my research.
Catch your brother off guard. Catch your brother off guard.
Journalist.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you, bro. Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
Now, have you had the whole ceremony and everything yet? Because that happened?
No, it's not yet. It's coming up.
Okay. Cool. Fun. All right. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Anthony Adams. Anthony.
Hey, y'all.
That dude right there.
Yes.
That dude right there.
My man.
And forgive me, I got all excited about doing my little intro there. Miss Princess Robin is the host of Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars, where she talks all about relationships, has all sorts of cool topics. Myself and Mr. Adams have been on there. It's always a good time. So
Yes.
be looking for her show coming. Some new episodes coming soon. And Anthony and I got all choked up. No. Anthony do Afterthoughts, 90 Day Fiance, WTF Moments. That's where we recap. All of you watch 90 Day, if you're a fan, we recap and give our opinion, whether you like it or not, on all the craziness that happens. So what we consider WTF moments. So we do that. And well, you know all about Kurt. We just gave him a whole long list of stuff. But there's a glimpse at all my bros been up to. All right, let's jump on into some stories. Along the lines of awards and legendary folks, congratulations to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Yes.
Inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean,
yes.
What long? It's about damn time.
Long overdue.
Love them, love them. And
Mhm.
they've been in the game for a minute. I was reading an article and they were just kind of giving the backstory, something that I didn't know, maybe you all knew, but the reason they stopped working with Prince basically fired them because they were
Yep.
trying to start their production company on the side. And I was like, I didn't
Mhm.
know
Yeah,
that.
Yep.
they
And
Yep.
missed the gig.
huh?
They missed the gig.
They missed the gig?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay, I missed that part. Okay.
Yeah,
So they were working on the
Yeah,
hustle and missed the gig. And Prince was like, you're out.
yeah,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I think the story goes Prince told them don't moonlight on the side as producers, but of course
Oh,
they went and moonlight on the side. They worked on the SOS band album. So
right, right.
in addition to them missing that gig due to a snowstorm, they go to a meeting with Prince and Prince goes, I told y'all not to moonlight on the side. And he pulls up the SOS band album. He's like, you're fired. He was like, you're
Oh.
fired. And Terry
Yeah.
Lewis goes, and Terry Lewis was like, all right, and he got up and walked out. He was like, all right.
Wow. Well,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so I guess they're being inducted along with some other folks, Dolly Parton, Eminem,
Yes, congrats. Yeah.
Duran Duran. There's a whole long list of folks
Yes.
that
Yeah.
I like
that
Duran
It's a
Duran.
This is a
yeah.
good
It's a good
cohort.
class. It's a
I've
good
been,
class.
I've been to a Duran Duran concert. I
have
sure
you
have.
really?
Yeah.
You know what? Full disclosure, I couldn't get into them. I was I would have been 8th or 9th grade, I guess, when they were. I just couldn't. There was one girl that I went to grade school with who was so into them. She literally carved whatever the lead guy's name is into her arm.
Simon.
Yeah. She carved his name into her arm, and she came to school.
Wow.
We were just like,
Simon LeBon. I was down with him.
yes.
I was down with
Yeah.
him.
Oh yeah, I've been known to jam out to Hungry Like the Wolf and
Yeah.
I had all the albums.
Oh
for a
yeah.
while.
Duran Duran was they were the thing back then. I'm telling you.
Mhm. Yep.
They
Yep.
All
had
right.
the sound, they had the look, they had the hair.
Of course, they were
did.
no
They had the hair.
confunction.
Yep.
Though.
In
But
fact,
thank
that's
you,
probably the
man.
only
Thank
song I
you.
really remember is "Hungry Like the Wolf." But so kudos to all those folks that are being inducted, but especially Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Long
Yes.
overdue. So I'm so excited for
Yes,
this.
yeah.
All right, let's keep it moving here. All right, so now I know I said I wasn't gonna keep talking about this, but yet there's another angle. So Chris Rock, there's been all the headlines that he finally kind of made a joke. He's been really silent about the whole Will Smith thing.
Mhm.
And so Hollywood Bowl Tuesday night, Dave Chappelle was on stage. And he's been on social media. You've probably seen the TikToks and the clips. I mean, it was kind of crazy. This guy runs up on stage, which we later found out was some like wannabe rapper guy. Runs up on stage with a weapon, and you see in the video where he lunges at Chappelle. Chappelle kind of rolls, and they kind of tussle for a minute, and then security. Okay, here's you guys. What takes security so long? I mean, we're seeing these incidents, and it's like, where the hell is security? Like, shouldn't it be in closer proximity? I saw one security guard, he slipped and fell, and the article says that, this is according to People, says that the attacker ended up running backstage where he was apprehended by security and ended up with a broken arm and was later transported to the hospital. Which I'm kind of like, you know what? You should have ran up there. I don't care about your broken arm. Why are you trying to attack Dave Chappelle? Anyway, I guess my question for the panel is, his name is Isaiah Lee. He's 23. Do we think that what a lot of people have, the fear that a lot of other comedians have expressed, is it because of this whole Will Smith being able to walk up on stage and slap Chris Rock and casually walk off like nothing happened? Are we going to see more of this? And do we think this is why this situation happened? K-Cee, why don't you go first?
I don't think we're going to see more of it. Actually, what's going to probably happen is security, and not just at comedy shows, but just concerts in general, is going to be more tight. Because now, even like a lot of the stuff that we're doing, uh, people are starting. It used to be a time where you had 10,000 backstage passes. They're not doing that no more.
Yeah.
Because unless you're with the band, unless you're like immediate, situations, they're cutting a lot of it out, because a lot of times there have been more people backstage at times than in the audience.
Wow.
And so now, because security can only be in so many places, and this is a situation, like I said, because you're thinking, hey, it's a comedy show. So they're thinking, yeah, we do need security, but we don't need security like it's Michael Jackson or Prince or something like that. So, and nobody is, and you never know, because we're living in a crazy world, and anybody's trying to get their, their 5 minutes or whatever. But I must say, once again, luckily, Dave Chappelle did not get injured in that situation, because we would be having a whole different story about that. And unfortunately, but unfortunately, hey, you get what you pay for. If you decide you want to be bold enough, because apparently he thought this through.
Right, clearly.
Right. So you get what you pay for. So you went up there saying, okay, I'm gonna whip Dave Chappelle's tail, and end up you getting your own tail whipped. So
yeah, it was scary to watch. It was really scary to watch, because like I said, him and Dave Chappelle actually made contact, and
they made contact.
Luckily, Dave's a pretty big guy, and you see him hitting this guy off and kind of roll up, out of the way, and I'm watching this going, okay, this is getting out of control. Princess, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that it happened. I'm glad Dave Chappelle was not hurt, and it goes back to what we said last time. It's like there's no excuse for this violence. There's just none, really. I mean, one might ask the question like, well, what prompted him to do it? But it doesn't matter. You went up there, you went on stage and committed a violent act. And, I think I had heard some people saying like, oh, he didn't deserve to get his butt kicked like he did. It's like,
please,
what did you think was going to happen? You went up there and just attacked this man. What did you think? People were just going to sit back and let it happen?
Right.
And, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense.
I'm with you, Princess. It's like we can't even go to a comedy show anymore and just have fun and relax. You gotta worry about some idiot running up on stage and acting crazy. I guess the big tagline is, Chris Rock finally said something about the incident, and he came out and, he was hanging on to, Dave Chappelle and said, "Was that Will Smith?" And of course, everybody went crazy over it. That's the headline all over the place, Yeah, man. So anyway, Anthony.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you think this is going to be a new trend, or do you agree with K-Cee that they're going to realize, okay, these aren't just little comedy shows anymore. We got to beef up security.
Well, I think definitely security is going to be beefed up quite a bit. Sadly, the act of people jumping on stage and attacking people, that's been attacking the entertainer. That's been going on for years. I remember I went to a Snoop Dogg and Game concert, and some dude jumped on stage when Snoop Dogg was on, ran behind Snoop Dogg, grabbed him by the back of the collar, and he fell. And everybody from Snoop and Game's Entourage came on stage and beat the guy down. So I think that this is nothing new. I think security is going to be beefed up. Hopefully this stops. But again, it's amazing the entitlement. This guy literally thought, oh, I'm going to go up on stage, attack Dave Chappelle, then go sit down at my seat, and everything's going to be all fine and dandy. It's like, nah, dude, you're going to jail. And it's like this new generation. He's 23, right? There's this generation of almost entitlement. Like, I'm doing this for the likes online. It's like, are you that desperate? It's Fabulous said it best. Money's not the root of all evil anymore. Attention is. This guy did it for attention.
Social media.
Exactly.
How many likes can I get? How many followers will I get for doing this craziness? Here's my concern, though. one of the concerns, as K-Cee mentioned, like, Michael Jackson, right? I mean, you do have fans that get overwhelmed, and we've seen people run up and hug Michael, and he's embraced them, and we've seen fans run up on stage before, and they're just excited, and so I would hate to have a situation where someone just gets excited, right, or overcome with emotion, it's their favorite person, whatever, and then ends up seriously hurt, because now we're at a point where I mean, it's tricky for security, because you don't know what people's intentions are,
Well,
so,
it goes back to you pay a ticket to come see a show, not be a show.
that's a good point. Yeah.
And so so you shouldn't be so over into the where, oh, I just lost control. No, you didn't. It's like you pay, it's like, because you have some people that their ticket would be back in the back, and they will make their way all the way down to the front, and so and we have been in situations where we've been in situations where people come up on stage, and luckily we of course you try to have security as much as possible.
I was just gonna ask you, like, have you guys had any fans like jump up and like, what were they? Were they trying to dance? Like, what was their?
They were very.
Oh no, I mean, for the most part, they jump up and try to come on stage and dance. Now there are times on certain songs like with Confunction, there are times like we do fun at the end of the show.
Yeah.
There are times we would in the past we've invited enough people to come on stage, and even then we'll count them as they come on.
Oh, okay.
And but we'll have a cutoff point, and even then we make sure there's security on both sides of the stage.
Okay.
So that way, as soon as we do the little routine, then they can escort them right back off the stage.
Right.
But you're gonna always have someone that's gonna try to do more than they're supposed to.
Yeah.
But beware of what you do, because like you said, some people do it because they want to have more attention and they want to be the show.
Right. Yeah. In my much younger days, I was that person. I might have a back row seat, but by the time the lights went out, whatever, usually me and a buddy have maneuvered our way to the front. Now we're not trying to get on stage; we just want to be in the front, and get sung to, get serenaded, the whole thing.
There was speaking of Michael Jackson and his fans. I don't know if you ever saw the footage, but when he would go up in the cherry picker and sing Earth Song, there was a fan that ran up the cherry picker.
That was so great. Now that was scary, because you saw how you would see that footage. Michael
grabbed him,
like tried to cradle him, because there are over thousands of people, however many gazillion miles up high, and I'm sure Michael was terrified, because had he fallen, something happened, he would have been sued, right? So
totally.
Yeah. So stay off the stages, people. Just and not to mention you're ruining it for everybody else that's trying to having a good time. Everybody else paid their money. They don't want to see you. They came to see whoever the star is. So I'm glad Dave is okay, and I hope that the nonsense will just stop, because it's too much. All right, let's slide on over into K-Cee. You want to do a segment today? You can pass.
Yeah. Real quick, because actually it kind of falls on something that Anthony said earlier, and one of my students actually quoted me, and I forgot that I had said this, but it goes back to like the financial part, but at the same time it goes back to what we were talking about, people getting likes.
Yeah.
And I had said in my class that we're living in the era of likes and not purchases.
Yes.
Meaning, the revenue streams for artists has dwindled. The likes for the artists have totally increased, but the revenue stream. So it's like, you may have 1 million likes, but you may only have 5,000 purchases.
Right.
And it takes so many likes to get to a certain. It's like you can have 1 million likes, and then that ends up being, $300. If depending on your situation. But meanwhile, when we were growing up, we went out and we bought CDs and
Yep.
cassettes
Yep.
and albums and whatever.
Yep.
Yes.
Well, and that it's like if you really like the artist, if you really like the musicians, if you really like their music, support them, buy it. Don't just like it and then tell your other friends and basically, you know, it's almost like an illegal download to a certain degree,
Mhm.
you know. But you know, yeah, it's okay to like it, but if you really like it, purchase it also. Don't just watch it a million times on YouTube, but don't buy it.
Right.
Mhm.
So once
Yeah.
again, we're living in the era of
Yeah.
likes and not purchases, and we need to
Mm.
try to flip that. That's why a lot of now,
Mhm.
if you notice, a lot of artists are trying to go back to um, media streams that are, you know, like they're going back to the vinyl and they're going back to even cassettes now, so they can get some,
What?
you know, some. Oh yeah,
Mhm.
I
They're
did not
because
know
they're trying
that.
to change it.
they're
Yeah.
doing like a lot of these like limited re-releases of albums, and
Oh,
they'll put them
okay.
Yes.
on vinyl, and then sometimes they'll do like a special, like for example, when Ghostface re-released the Purple Tape album as a part of the 25th anniversary, he released an actual purple tape that you could
Oh,
buy as
that's
a
really
commemorative
cool.
collection.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
and real quick, brother Kurt, to add on to that, I don't know if you saw this, but when Snoop Dogg recently acquired Death Row Records, he went and pulled all the Death Row albums off of
Yes.
streaming services. He recently said this in an interview. He said the
Yes.
reason why is because those streaming services don't pay the artists
They don't
anymore.
pay the artists.
And so what he wants to do now is he wants to develop a Death Row streaming app where you have those albums there, but the money is going back to
Yeah.
the artist essentially. So which once makes me
Yeah.
wonder, is streaming now, because nowadays with these streaming services, the music is, it's almost, because it's like you said, we used to go buy CDs, cassettes, etc.
Mhm.
Now it's like the music has become so disposable because we have it in our libraries. Do you think that's another reason why the money is going down? Because
Yeah,
like,
well, because you have every day you have a new streaming service, and unfortunately, you know, because regulations don't keep up with, you know, technology. So I mean, you had for years Spotify and all these, you know, and even, you know, XM radio and things like that. They were playing artists all day long and never had to pay a royalty. They never had to count, you know, a royalty. And the artist was like, "Well, hey, hold on, wait a minute. Now you got an old school podcast, and you're playing my music, but you're not paying me, you know, a royalty, but you're using my music to generate your viewership. Now
Mhm.
you're getting paid, but you're
Right.
not paying me." And they had to they actually had to go to Congress, you know, and get the laws changed because technology moves faster than, you know, legislation.
Wow. All right. Well, there you go. Go back to buying the CDs, the records, the tapes. Because you know, artists gotta eat too. I mean, and that's really putting all that hard work, and then you know, because of
Yeah.
technology, it's just spread all over the place and you're not getting compensated for it. That would be extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Brother Kurt, for that.
Anytime.
Knowledge. Appreciate it. All right, let's talk about Keke Palmer. So actress Keke Palmer was in the news a few days ago. So apparently she was at a bar, and a fan, you know, ran up to her and said, "Hey, we take a picture of me, want to do a selfie?" She said no. Now, according to the LA Times, she said no to this woman 3 times. She kept asking, she kept saying no. She asked again, she kept saying no. So the woman still proceeded to film her anyway. And she tweeted the other day, and she said, no means no, even when it doesn't pertain just to sex. I was at a bar the other day. A girl asked me 3 times for a picture. I told her no 3 times nicely, that I did not want to take one with her. She still proceeded to film me against my will. And then she says, if I went off on her, I would have been wrong. So I nervously laughed while my privacy was invaded upon. Now, I saw this headline, and you know, I always read the comments too when I see these articles. And it was interesting, right? There were some people that said, you know, celebrities are people too. They have rights. If they don't want to be filmed, don't film. I mean, if you walked up to a stranger on the street just because you thought maybe they were attractive and said, "Can I take a picture?" and they said no, you'd say okay and walk away. just because someone's famous doesn't mean that they have no rights, right? And then there were those that said, yeah, but it comes with the territory. If you're a celebrity, you got to be ready to take a picture at any time. You should sign autographs. She should have just went ahead and taken the picture. I'm curious what the panel thinks about that. I have my own thoughts, but I'm gonna save it. Anthony, what do you think? Do you think because you're a celebrity, it does come with the territory? And this girl just wanted a picture. What's so wrong with that?
Well, again, it goes back to that whole entitlement situation. Well, we buy we pay for your movies. We go this, da da da. We support you. You owe us a photo. They don't. Well, the answer is no. They don't owe you anything because they're human, just like me and you. And it goes back to what you said. If somebody thought somebody was attractive on the street, walk up and say, "Hey, can I take a photo of you?" No, okay, you wouldn't even second to that person. Now, well, some people would, sadly. Well, it's the same rule with celebrities. There's a time and a place. And, sometimes, if you ask them politely, and if you come introduce yourself, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a huge fan. Is it cool if I get a selfie with you? A lot of times what I find really interesting is, and this is something I learned about Richard Gere, was when a fan would ask him for a picture and he would say no, he would still acknowledge them and say, I thank you for your support. I really appreciate that. But I'm here with my family right now. So the answer is no. Or even recently, Justin Bieber, some girls were camped outside of his apartment where he was out for a run, and he came back and he said, hey, I see you. I appreciate you. But guys, this is where I live. This is where me and my wife rest comfortably. Can you guys please not come around here anymore? And he did it politely. And I'm sure Kiki was very polite about it. But at the same time, she laughed uncomfortably because she's like, listen, I've asked you 3 times already. I've told you 3 times already. No,
Right.
But again, it goes back to the whole entitlement thing. But no, the answer is if you ask them and they decline, leave them alone. Let them be.
Princess, what are your thoughts? Does it come with the territory? Should you just be camera ready all the time when you're out? Or, do you have a certain right to some privacy and to say no and not be a bully all of a sudden, or, be talked about badly because you're an actor or a musician and just wanted to chill and didn't want to take a picture?
Yeah, I think you have to respect people's boundaries. I mean, if I didn't know it before, I know it now, being married to a musician. I mean, that's their job. Her job is to, be in the public eye and to film things and, host things. And then when she's off work, you don't have to, you have to respect her boundary that she is now in her personal time, in her personal, any celebrity, when they're not working, that's their personal time. It's like, I don't expect, shouldn't be expected to answer emails and be in meetings after my work hours. We understand work-life balance and boundaries when we're just, civilians, I call it, just Joe Schmo. But for some reason, we don't understand that when it comes to celebrities. And, I'll be the first to admit, I've had opportunities, in recent years to be around people that I'm like, I idolized you when I was, and yet, I, out of respect, I try to, remember, like unless I'm invited into, their space or they're in some kind of situation where they are like signing autographs or taking pictures, like if this is clearly that moment that you can do that, then that's different. But, Tom Joyner Cruz is a great example. How many times did we get on the elevator with somebody who was, and I'm like,
oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's full of stars.
What's going on? And you just got to act like, nobody. But they're people just like we are.
Right.
They have downtime just like we do. They gotta recharge their batteries just like we do. And that should be respected. They don't owe us anything. They're doing their jobs.
Yeah. K-Cee, so my question for you is, have you ever been in that position? Have you, maybe you and the fellas been out or, or after a concert or something. And so, we're talking about backstage, hey, you got some people come backstage. You guys are tired. You just want to go home and chill. Have you had that happen, and how do you handle those situations?
You try to be as polite as possible. Most times people will respect it, but you're gonna always have those that try to push the envelope. They're
Mhm.
gonna always try to, well, I just want to, and because what happens sometimes is it becomes you open Pandora's box in that situation, because what
Mhm.
happens is, like you said, you may be like, hey, look, I'm out with my wife, I'm just chilling, I'm not trying to
Mhm.
do this, you know, and because what happens is if you do one, somebody else is going to come back behind him, somebody else is going to
Ah.
come back behind him,
Mhm.
and it's a domino effect.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, but and there have been times, and like I said, and people will try to invade your personal space. They will
Mhm.
try to do it, and you
Mhm.
try to be as graceful as possible, but at the same time, and I understand exactly where Kiki was coming from, because, like you said, she told her 3 times.
Yeah.
Told her 3 times.
Mhm.
Listen, n- I'm sorry, thank you, but not tonight. It's like, because once again, you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
They have their ups and downs, they have their good days, their bad days, just like anybody else. And like I said, sometimes you just want to be, you just want to have, your downtime like everyone else. And no, I shouldn't always have to take a photo. But like you said, I think the only time I think I ever took a photo, and I asked, because I don't really do the whole fan thing.
Mhm.
But I sent it to Robin. So I got Julia Garner, who plays Ruth on Ozark,
Oh.
Yes, I just was
right?
looking at that picture today.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
so what happened?
cute.
So what happened was, and because we were I'm actually getting ready to get on a flight, and she was in line, and she was standing by
Mhm.
herself, and I'm like, and she's like, yeah, it's me. And I'm like, but even then, but I was, but I tried to be respectful. Say, listen,
Mhm.
I don't mean any harm, but first of all, I love the show,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and is it okay? And she was like, yeah, come
Mhm.
on, come on. But once again, you ask permission,
Yep.
and then
Yes.
whatever the answer is, you have to respect the answer.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you have some people, it doesn't matter what you say, they gonna do them.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
And then try to make you the villain if you say no, not right now. I'm, today is not the day. I'm sorry. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
and then all of a sudden, oh, you ain't. Then next thing you know, you ain't all that. I ain't never liked the film
Right.
anyway.
Right. Then all of a
I
sudden,
ain't never liked your music.
Mhm. Yeah.
that no,
Mm,
yeah, that's real. That's real.
yeah.
Okay, but I
So
got a plot twist for y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
here we
So
go.
many
Here we
so
go.
years ago, Steve Harvey was in town,
Mhm.
and he was at the Paramount Theater. He did a show, and after the show, a friend he we got word that he was at I forget the hotel. It was used to be right across the street. I don't think it's there anymore. Anyway, it's not far from the Westin. He was at the Westin,
Mhm.
and we got word that he was over there. And so a friend of mine called me. She's the one who told me. She's like, "Hey, Steve Harvey's over here. Blah blah." So me and my other friend like, "Okay, cool. Let's go check him out." So we went, and when we walked into the lobby, when I say there was a sea of people, I mean it was wall to wall folks. Okay. So we're kind of squeezing through, we're looking, and she's like, "You see him?" I was like, "No, you see him?" Nah. So we're like, whatever. We go, we get some food, we're like, screw this. We'll just kind of, flirt a little bit with this bunch of people here.
Mhm.
So we're eating, and I kind of sit on the arm of this couch that was there. I got my back turned. My friend had gone off to get a drink or something. And so I'm just sitting there eating. And all of a sudden, I turn around, and guess who's literally standing like right behind me? It's Steve Harvey. And he's very
Mhm.
tall, by the way, right? So I'm like, and so I tapped him on the shoulder, and I was like, Steve. And he's like, "Hey, sweetheart, how are you?" And I was like, "Hi." I was like, can I take a quick picture?" He's like, "Sure, come on, baby." Super sweet. I get my little camera out and get ready to take the picture. All of a sudden, somebody grabs my arm and damn near
Mhm.
yanks it out of the socket. It was his security guard. And he's like, "No,
Mhm.
no, 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 no." He's like this big, fat, ugly, sloppy dude, right? And I'm looking at him like, what the, he's like manhandling me. I didn't attack Steve. I didn't, I tapped him on the shoulder, real timid, like, and he had put his arm around me, getting ready to take the picture. And then the security guy, no, no pictures, no pictures. And so Steve, like, he kind of looks awkward for a minute, and he's like, I'm sorry, baby, I'm sorry. And I said, hey, no worries. Like, I'm ready to get the hell out of here. This dude is crazy, right? And I was like, a lot younger than too. But so if I run into my friend, I tell her what happened. She's like, what the hell? So we have this whole conversation on the ride home. Like, see, sometimes it's the entourage that gives the star a bad name. Like, okay, I didn't blame Steve because he was super sweet. He was ready to take a picture with me. And here comes fat bodyguard dude. Young. But it goes back to, I think, what you said earlier, K-Cee, about like, then it's kind of a snowball effect, right? Because it's like if he took a picture with me, then all of a sudden everybody's gonna be trying to take pictures, and I'm assuming that was it. I don't know. All I know is I was pissed.
A lot of times that's what it is, because like you said, there was a sea of people that was looking for him. They couldn't find him. You found him. There he is over there.
Yep.
Exactly.
I
really stumbled upon him. Like, it was crazy.
But thank you for taking a picture with me.
Oh. Do we need to tell the story? Do we need to tell the story?
just really quick. Her best friend. The show was over. It was our last show, with Confunction at Jazz Alley, and we were packing up. I'm getting ready to head up out the back exit, the fire escape. I'm going out, and her friend Lauren says, "Hey, if it's okay, can me and my friend take a picture with you?" And I said, sure. She's like, well, she's in the restroom right now. Right? I said, well, okay, well, yeah. I said, well,
I was using the bathroom. I had said no pictures that night. That was my promise. No pictures.
But luckily, I said, sure, not a problem. We wait for a minute, and I'm looking at, I'm like, what is she doing to this? She all right? She fell in. What's going on?
It was number one.
Yeah, but even then, but when she came out, it was her. I'm like, hey, she's like, you don't remember me? Like, I'm like, no, I totally remember you. And actually, that's actually how I was able to get her number.
Oh. Quick neighbor to some smoothness right there.
Hey.
And the rest is history.
Take a picture with you.
And the rest is history.
I love it. I love that story. All right. Well, yeah. So moving on. People just don't harass the stars. If they say no, no means no. And also, people have to have common sense, right? You see people out with their families. You see
they don't care.
It's just like, have some common decency, some common sense. That's all. All right, let's move on. There's been some defamation lawsuits happening as of late. Now I know Brother Kurt hates the repeat stories, or not the stories. The stories are always different, but it's the same people. But I gotta mention it, and it's not Kanye this time, but it is the Kardashians. So if y'all if y'all remember, now Andy, I see. Okay, you traded sides. All right, so
I'm here.
Black Chyna, as we know her. If you remember, many years ago, well, how long has it been now? I forget. I lost track. Anyway, she quite some time ago was engaged to Rob Kardashian, who's the only brother in the Kardashian family. We don't get to see him much, but they were a part of the reality show for a minute. Anyway, she actually filed recently a defamation suit against the Kardashians. Now, if you remember, you've been kind of paying attention to some of the stories. Kardashians have been heard to say things like, she was quote unquote ghetto. using, some slang terms to describe her, saying she was, after their money, this kind of thing. So $100 million lawsuit is what Blac Chyna filed, and lost. She lost.
Yeah.
She lost it. Jury found that the Kardashians did not defame her. And I read just before we went on the air that her mom actually just started a GoFundMe page for an appeal. So she's trying to raise some money so that Blac Chyna can appeal. Well, I'm gonna go to you guys. I'm curious what your thoughts are. I have my own thoughts when I saw her in the reality show, as I'm following some of the stories, and I'm, I can't say that I can't say that the Kardashians were wrong. I don't know. I don't know about her intentions. I'll put it that way. I'm not so sure from what I saw from the show what her real intentions were with Mr. Rob Kardashian. K-Cee, what were your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think that they were right?
Well,
that she's kind of seeking fame and attaching herself to them?
Well, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle black.
He's been waiting all week to say that one, ladies and gentlemen. K-Cee Kirk Clayton, he's here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. What is the Kardashians' claim to fame? Dating pro athletes and sex tapes. Let's keep it real. So if you're talking about somebody is ghetto, right, and you're after their money, that's been the family's MO. Even the mom. So that has been now. Just because you have reached a certain quote unquote tax bracket, you still are who you are.
Right.
Right.
Forgotten.
So once again, if that ain't the black on the kettle black. So and in my opinion, she did have a right to file. I think sometimes, once again, you got to make sure that your lawyer goes in and argue the right case. Now, what may actually happen? Like I said, if she does an appeal and she goes to civil court, they may actually do a settlement, because a lot of times, if you may go to actual regular court and they throw it out, but then you'll get a settlement in civil court.
So what's her case, babe?
Because her case was that they even on the show they was trying to defame her character, because they were calling her ghetto and a gold digger and all these things.
So
the ultimate opportunist.
They weren't nice, so I'll give you that. They weren't nice to her. Sorry, I just jumped in and took my turn. Is that okay?
No.
Of course.
So they weren't nice to her.
Right.
No.
Noted.
No.
But from what I was reading, her case was that contributed to the demise of the opportunity of the show that she had with Rob. To which I say, we barely care about the Kardashians anyway. Did you think that if they were nice to you, your show would have been successful? You do understand what I'm saying? It's like,
right? Yes.
I think it was more about her clearing her name, though. I think it was more about clearing her name.
It's two things. You got to realize that whole franchise is run through the mom and Kim.
Right.
So at the same time, if they're defaming her and then they influence the producers to cancel that show, that's her revenue stream.
See, for me, it comes down to all them reality shows are on the same level for me. They really are. They really are. And so it's the Kardashians. So you're going up against the name, but you could easily go down and in fact, every season, one of them housewives shows does the same thing. Oh, they got me kicked off. Oh, so got me kicked off. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's garbage anyway. Sorry, because I was addicted to said garbage. I just weaned myself, not the Kardashians, but the housewives.
Me too. Yep.
But you know, in a given season, somebody's gonna come out and be like,
But
You know,
here's the
that
thing.
messed with my money because so and so was
Nene Leakes is
Yeah.
doing that right now.
Yeah, yeah, but here's the thing. But if
who are you
if you
anyway?
sign, but if you sign a contract for say like 5 seasons or 6 seasons, right? And that's your revenue stream for 5 years or 7 years, and all of a sudden someone defames your character, it's like any other job, and all of a sudden they cancel you after 2 seasons. That's your money maker. That's your revenue stream. Because trust me, if the shoe was on the other foot and somebody had defamed them and the sponsor, i.e., just like what Will Smith is going through right now, and people say, well, you know what, right now we can't touch you, so we gotta break all ties with you. That messes with that's feeding your family. She has a child.
I guess for me it's
with
like,
Rob.
And who cared about Rob either? I guess that's the other point I'm making. It's like you're trying to create. I don't know. Maybe you're not.
Well, for me, I watched the show. So I watched their show, Rob and Chyna. I watched the Kardashians and
my point exactly, Kurt Clayton.
I don't have to watch it.
And
I don't have to watch it. I don't have to like it, but it's about business.
Well, before I even before all this even happened, as I'm watching the show, as somebody watching it unfurl on TV, I kind of started getting those vibes from her too. Now, this is just me sitting at home watching, and not really paying attention to what the Kardashians say because, but I'm watching it myself. Haven't been a big question mark about what her intentions are. I mean, she treated him kind of like crap. We all saw it. He was in a bad space,
and he liked it.
And he took it. He was taking it and dealing with it. So, Anthony, what do you think?
Well, I think Chyna was trying to be the ultimate opportunist. I hate to say that, especially about Black women. But sometimes you gotta call a spade and just look at the cards as it is. I don't know if you ever saw the other reality show that she had post.
She had another one?
It was on it was on like the Zeus network. It was like when it was like up and coming.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, well, here's what happened. They put the first episode free on YouTube to advertise it, and I watched it, and I was just like, no wonder why they canceled your show with Rob. You're a very you're not a you're call it you're a trashy person. You and your mom bickering back and forth, just the way y'all acting and everything.
Anthony, it's okay. Are you a Black Chyna fan? Why are you watching?
No, I'm
show?
not. No, I'm not a Black Chyna fan. No, I'm talking about. I just don't want. I just feel bad for saying that. But at the end of the day, it's like I gotta call a spade a spade. Yeah, you're trashy. You are trashy, and then on top of that, you're the ultimate opportunist. You got with Rob because your ex baby daddy got with his sister. Mind you, Chyna was best friends with Kim at one point. So now she got with Rob to get back at Kendall or Kylie. And so it's just like, and then she tried to have a baby because, in my personal opinion, she was trying to be the ultimate opportunist. Rob is more successful than Tyga. So, okay, I'm about to cash in and get that child support. And they're like, no, you're not.
Well, hey, baby bro, AC Soul says that he agrees with Anthony and Robin. She wanted to come up and hopped on.
Of course she wanted. Of course she wanted to come up. First of all, the Kardashians is Greek for come up.
They sure.
That's their whole thing. First of all, what talent do they have?
Well, we know
exactly
what Kim's is.
So, but my point is the way they actually got on, quote unquote, the whole social media and popularity train is through Kim's come up,
with Ray J.
With Ray J.
That's
and
true.
Then on top of that, then she started being linked to athlete after athlete after athlete. And then next thing
she had that little connection too.
Paris Hilton, and then Chloe, and although their father was a very famous, attorney, but trust me, half their fans don't even know who their father is.
Right. Especially nowadays, they have no clue who it was. Yeah.
And to go one back, And trust me, Rob fell in love, like the song said, he fell in love with a stripper.
Yeah.
Because that's what her day job was when he met her.
Yes, he did. He did. Listen, I see both sides, right? Because I definitely think that there was some opportunity, seeking there. Like I said, watching the show is kind of obvious. But I also see Brother K-Cee's side with the business part, right? It's like, I guess, yeah. I mean, she felt that that she lost some opportunities because of them. So she sought some payment. She didn't get it. So obviously the jury disagreed. Mm-hmm. And so now we'll see if she gets something from a civil suit. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see if she. I mean, obviously she's raising money for it or trying to. So who knows if she'll be able to pay lawyers to do a civil suit? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Anthony, you got some podcasts for us?
I have one, and it is actually a new season of a podcast I've already advertised before. But the official Prince podcast is coming back at the end of this season because next month they're going to be re-releasing the Prince live concert from the Carrier Dome in Syracuse on the Purple Rain tour. So they're going to be interviewing pretty much everybody that was on the tour, from everybody in the Revolution. I'm hoping Morris will make an appearance on that podcast. Hopefully Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, who we mentioned earlier, they'll be on that podcast. We'll have to wait and see. But it dropped. But that podcast, the new season starts at the end of the month. So that's a new one that I have for us.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Back up. Speaking of Morris, I don't think we got a chance to talk about this when this happened. Did you guys hear that the Prince estate was trying to take his name?
Yeah.
But I haven't followed it too closely. What the hell? Like, I was appalled. I'm like, why would you want to take this man's name? Like, are you taking it and trying to give it to somebody else? Right, K-Cee, but help us understand, like, what are they going to do with the name? They want him to pay them?
No, hold it hostage, because you got to realize, first of all, the same people that run the Prince estate are the same people that run the Elvis Presley estate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So once again, for them, it's all business. It's all about everything that Prince created. They want to have ownership of it. So their thing is, because Prince created Morris Day and the Time. He created that whole platform. And so, and they looked it up. Okay, Morris, although Morris has been making money for years, it's like, okay, well, but technically Prince owns this name, because a lot of times what happens is people don't realize when you sign with a record label, you sign, a lot of times the label owns you and your likeness. Mm-hmm. This is why at one point, when even Prince himself had to change his name to the symbol, he was the artist formerly known as, because Warner Brothers owned his name. Mm-hmm. And so it's the exact same thing. So that's why, even like more so, you just gotta take care of your business, because Mars is thinking, like I said, and they were like brothers. But once again, your brother is gone. So you got these people that don't care about you.
Right.
That say, okay, yeah, well, if you're going to go out here and make money off this name, then guess what? We want a percentage of it. Or else you can't make money off this name.
Yeah. And I'll add to that too. I don't know if you guys remember this, but even before Prince died, The Time put out an album, but it wasn't underneath the name The Time. It was underneath the name The Original Seven.
Original Seven. It was called The Original Seven.
Owned the name The Time, and he was not allowing them to use that name. So, but actually, Morris broke this down in a Vlad TV interview, which he said, I can go on tour as Morris Day and The Time, but I can't put that name on an album because Prince owns that name. And essentially, it's kind of the same thing with Blackstreet right now. Like Chauncey Black owns the rights to the name Blackstreet. So that's when they go on tour, it's it's Blackstreet featuring Teddy Riley and Dave Hollister.
Which is a totally different name.
Yeah, because Teddy Riley doesn't own the name to Blackstreet like we thought he did.
Yeah. So that's why you have to add, add other situations with it.
I don't want to see Blackstreet without Teddy Riley.
Mm-hmm. and neither does a lot of other people.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Right, that's a whole nother conversation.
Tell us about that concert where Teddy didn't show up.
Oh man! Not only Teddy
too
didn't
soon.
show up.
I know it was the 90s, but
Oh,
it's too soon.
Teddy
Still
didn't.
a fresh wound.
Teddy didn't show up. Aaron sounded like hell. He did, he had a little solo thing. And then what was it?
Raphael
Tony. You know.
Hey, Raphael.
Hey, hold on. I got something to tell y'all. I'm not Raphael today.
The only ones who came through was After 7.
Yes.
That's the only ones who came through. Shout out to After 7.
Shout out to After 7. I remember people were booing. It was horrible. I was like, Teddy Riley.
It was like,
I'm not After 7. I'm not After 7. I'm before 5.
He had me fooled at first. I mean, he sounded like him, he looked like him.
I got a confession.
Didn't he say something like I'm Raphael's cousin or something like that?
Yeah.
People started kind of whispering and and lady and her husband next to us were the ones that said, "That's not Raphael." And me and my dad were like, "Yeah, it is." They're like, "No, it's not." And sure enough, I'm like, "Ain't nothing."
Yeah, they've had a couple of cousins because they're all family for the most part. They've had a couple of cousins that kind of came in and
that might be okay, but you don't come in pretending.
Thank
and
you.
Say, Psych, I'm just kidding.
With your hat covering your eyes.
Isn't it? Okay, I'm gonna be real. Bye.
It ain't. Listen.
And I'm gonna go ahead and wrap us up here. It's been real. Princess, what you got in the works for Traveler's Guide?
Traveler's Guide. We've got a couple of things coming up. Listen out for the young version of Shacking Up. And listen out for a wonderful, beautiful love story that spans over 30 years. Wait for love. I think it was Worth the Wait. Worth the Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Exciting.
Yeah. Coming soon.
All right. K-Cee, what you got going on besides winning awards all over the place?
Actually tomorrow, because this whole month of May, especially in Memphis, they have this festival called Memphis in May. And actually, several things. I just did the Memphis in May concert last week with my good friend Al Capone, who co-wrote. Well, he actually wrote the song "Whip That Trick" for the Hustle and Flow, which is like So, but tomorrow I'm gonna be doing the gala for the King of Ghana with my good friend Wendy Moten.
Wow.
And then this weekend, Robin and I we're actually going up to see our new grandbaby.
Oh, that's a clinky neighbor. That's a clinky neighbor.
Oh my
yes. This is Raiden. This is Miss Raiden Amon Clayton Brooks.
She is beautiful. She's posting the picture.
Oh, and by the way, it's a Howard Hewitt show that week.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're going up there. We're going to play with Howard Hewitt. Okay. But then we're going to stay an extra day to kind of hang out with us.
Be grandparents.
To see the baby.
Oh, yeah. That's very cute. Yeah. Very cute.
Robin is officially Gigi.
Gigi. Princess Gigi.
Princess Gigi.
Anthony.
Yeah.
What we got going on?
All right. So last time I saw you guys, I said I was going to have some news, so I can go ahead and talk about this now. June 4th, I will be DJing the Relay for Life in Kent. It's going to be the first public event I've DJed in person in nearly 2 years. The first Relay for Life I've done since 2019 before COVID shut everything down. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, of course, you and I, we have our show every Monday, Afterthoughts, 90-day WTF moments. And this season, y'all, if you haven't watched yet, it's getting real good. So yes, definitely check that out.
Crazy. All right, peeps. We're gonna be out. Stay safe out there. Don't go running up on any stages at concerts and comedy shows and all that. And be well. We'll see you later.
Soul make the beat.